Hi sir, so my name is Carlo Cabaluna Hamon, your student in Base Cream 2 Black Sea. So, so in this evening, we'll talk about the elements of photography. The four elements of photography are the light, sensitized material, camera and accessories, and the chemical process. So, pagkakaroon natong isyutan lang ang duha ka elements sa photography, which is the light and sensitized material. Light. So, light is a electromagnetic wavelength within the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum that can perceived by the human eye. The range of the range of visible light having the wavelength of 400 to 700 nm. So, sensitized material. Sensitized material is composed of a highly sensitized chemical compound which is capable of being transformed into an image through the action of light and with some chemical process. No matter how you're lighting your photographs, there are certain traits or principles of light that will ultimately determine the aesthetic of your photograph. In photography, there are three main principles, and the, and these principles are reflection, absorption, and the transmission. So reflection is the bounding to deflection of light as it is hit by the surface, and the absorption is light is absorbed by different substance much as water is taken upon by the sponge. And the last one, transmission. Transmission is a light can be transferred or passed through transparent and translucent substance. The characteristics of lights. So the characteristics of light are intensity, color, quality, and direction. So intensity, it refers to the amount of light falling on a on on a subject, and color, it depends on the size of the wavelength in the visible spectrum. Quality refers to the harshness or softness of the light. Direction, given with difference to the camera subject axis and or an imaginary line drawn from the camera to the subject. So, what are the photographic rays? So, the photographic rays are visible light, ultraviolet light, and infrared light. The last one is X-ray. So, the first one is visible light. Visible visible light is a form of electromagnetic radiation as are radio waves, infrared radiation, ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, and microwaves. Generally, visible light is defined as the wavelengths that are visible to the most human eyes. And the second one is the ultraviolet light. It's a form of radiation which is not visible to the human eye. It is an invisible part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Radiated energy or radiation is given off by many objects. For example, a light bulb, a crackling fire, and stars are some examples of objectives which emit radiation. And the wavelength of ultraviolet light is 200 to 400 millimicrons. It is used to photograph fingerprints on multicolored background, documents that are altered chemically or overwritings, and detection of a secret writings. For example, learning ultraviolet light kay katong mga pang-erase nga ipang-erase nga sulat. So through ultraviolet light makita nato kung unsay nasa likod adtong mga erasure. So infrared light. So infrared light is an electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than those of a visible light. It is therefore invisible to the human eye. And the wavelength of infrared light is 700 to 800 millimicrons, and it is used in taking photographs of obliterated writings, worn or dirty documents, or blackout photography. And the last one is the X-ray. So X-ray is an electromagnetic wave of high energy and very short wavelength which is able to pass through many materials piki to the light. For example, ang X-ray kanang balian ka. Ang makita kay kaning mga external ni mga kwan. For example, bones. Ano magamit sa X-ray. And what are the two sources of photographic rays? So, the two sources of photographic rays are natural light and the artificial light. So, natural light, for example, the example of natural light is the sunlight. It's a portion of electromagnetic radiation given by the sun. In a particular infrared visible and ultraviolet light. On Earth, sunlight is scattered and filtered through Earth's atmosphere, and it is of use as daylight when the sun is above the horizon. Bright sunlight is the subject will produce a strong shadow. Objects in open space appear glossy or bright, and the colors are saturated. The objects in the open space cast shadow which one deep and uniform in a shade. And the second example is the hazy light. Hazy light is obscured by the light clouds. The intensity of the direct light falling on objects in open space is decreased. The last one is the dull light. Dull light is obscured by heavy clouds, atmospheric moisture, dust, and atmospheric moisture. Dust and serial haze, no direct sunlight touch object in an open space. And the second sources of photographic light is the artificial light. So, artificial light. What is artificial light? So, the example of artificial light is the photographic lamp, flash bulbs, electronic flash, fluorescent lamp, infrared lamp, and the ultraviolet lamp. So, artificial light. Artificial light is a lightning or illumination is the deliberate use of light to achieve practical or aesthetic effects. Lighting includes the use of both artificial light sources like lamps and light fixtures, as well as the natural illumination by capturing daylight. For example, example of artificial light is the photographic lamp. Photographic lamp is also known as the reflectorized light or spotlight. This type of lamp uses a reflection to focus the light on the subjects. The lifespan is 7 to 8 hours with a wavelength of 500 watts. Flash bulbs. Flash bulbs are electrical lamps as they generate lights by the rapid combustion of metal in oxygen. Electronic flash produce light by instantaneous electrical discharges between two electrodes in a gas-filtered glass bulb. Fluorescent lamp. Fluorescent lamp are the tube lamps wherein the walls are coated by materials capable of fluorescing. Both ends have a terminal and commonly mounted into a holder that serves a reflection. Infrared lamp. Infrared lamp is a special type of artificial light that is capable of producing infrared radiation. This is a type of bulb is used in photographing the objects or subjects at dark places. And the last one is the last one of the example of artificial light is the ultraviolet lamp. So ultraviolet lamp is a gas lamp burning disulfide vapor in oxygen or in rate in rate oxide, which is common to dark light. That's all. Thank you.